Hola a todos! Today we're going to talk about the present subjunctive with Ojala, which is, to me, one of the most interesting words in the Spanish language. Your goal by the end of the day is to use the present subjunctive. So here we go. We have seen the subjunctive before when we have made formal commands. With those guys, we started out with the yo form, and then we changed the ending. If it ended in A, we switched that to E. If it ended in E, we switched that to A. You also saw how with usted, that's it, we were done. But with ustedes, we needed to add an N at the end. And then I alluded earlier how with nosotros, we would add a mos, vosotros, we would add an is, tú, and then with negative informal commands, with the tú form, we add an S at the end. And this is it. This is everything you need to know. It actually puts us in a whole new mood called the subjunctive. So I'm going to show you what that means. So you're not limited just to usted and ustedes. You can do this for all those verbs. So let's copy those in tu hablar. To put hablar in the subjunctive, we're going to add an S on tú, a mos on nosotros, a is, and an N for ellos. And then we'll start right away. So we need to put hablar in our yo form. To take our yo form, we'll drop that AR ending, and we'll typically add an O, but we're going to change that AR to an E. So now that we have our AR ending, I should make a highlighter pink. Too late. Oh well. Now that we have our AR ending, that's going to switch to an E, giving us hable. And that forms the foundation for everything else. So we have yo hable, tú hables, él hable, nosotros hablemos, vosotros habléis, y ellos hablen. Got to put accent on that. Hables though. Okay. With querer, it's that same pattern. We're just going to take these endings. Ooh, got it. Nailed it. Perfect. Okay. Querer, we're going to take the yo form, which means we drop this ER ending, and it's a stem changer, so we'll put that QUI in there. And that ER switches to an A. So that gives us quiera. Anyway. And then you can take all the other ones. Quieras. Quiera. Where did I go? Quiéramos. Do we need to stem change in the nosotros and the vosotros form? We actually do not. So we can just get rid of that I. Wink. There we go. Oh, shoot. And ellos. Quiera. Cool. Notice this accent goes on the A. So when you think subjunctive, basically, we're just switching the ending. So, we have that right here, don't we? Ta-da! And that shows just how okay that circle is. I thought it was going to be worse, but we did pretty well. Okay, decir. Again, we're going to start with the yo form. Decir is an irregular yo. Remember, it's digo. We're going to take that IR, and we're going to switch that guy to an A. So instead of digo, we have diga for the, what's it called? The subjunctive. For the subjunctive form of the decir. So and then we can just take that as our base for all of our other perspectives. We have digas, diga, digamos, digais, and digan. So isn't that lovely? That way, you don't have to worry about stem changers. Just look at the yo form. You don't have to worry about memorizing all of the imperfects, or rather all of the irregulars. You can just use the yo form. So that's super duper helpful. A word of caution, though, when you're doing cargar verbs and we're changing the ending, we're going to have to do some funky spellings. So you remember when we had verbs in the preterite, for example, like sacar would turn into sake. We needed to change that on a cargar verb. The same thing is going to happen too in the subjunctive. When we change this ayar, and we have sake, but now it says sase, right? So same thing, we need to change that to a QU. Green on it, QU. Okay, so cargar, just like in the preterite, where we had sake and or like pagué and empecé, we needed to do those spelling changes. Those spelling changes are still going to hold true as we are getting rid of their accents in the subjunctive tense. Okay, so that's just kind of a little side note about spelling things. We want that sound to stay the same. Now let's talk about this phrase, ojala. Ojala fascinates me because there's not really a good translation really into English. I've seen it as like God willing. I've seen it as hopefully. Or I've seen it as just like used to express desire. Okay. Like, cool. So ojala, yeah, there you go. There's 3 different definitions. What we're going to do is we're going to use, and it fascinates me because, and I don't know this for sure, but this is just my guessing. I think it comes from Arabic, where you have like Allah, their God. It's like, ojala, like if God wills it, according to God, this will happen. So anyway, that absolutely fascinates me. So here we go. We can, whenever we use ojala, we need to follow it by K. So our pattern is going to be, we're going to have this word, ojala, with an accent, and then que, and then we'll use a verb in the subjunctive tense. And that's the phrasing that we're going to practice today. So this is our key idea. We're going to draw a key around it, stick it to your memories, know it, love it. And here we go. Hola, ojala, que, followed by the subjunctive. So let's put this into practice. Notice how in Actividad 6 we have all of our ojala here. Ojala, ojala, ojala que, ojala que. Okay, this follows our pattern already. Ojala que. And then we need to put a verb in the subjunctive. That's just kind of all these blanks. Great. To keep my color coding the same. There you go. I'll just write it in yellow. Okay. But notice we also have the subject here. The subject is not always needed, just like it's not always needed in a normal Spanish sentence. Like here we don't need to have a yo in our sentence because it'll be implied by our verb conjugation, but it can help clarify, especially when our conjugations on the yo form and the L form are the same. So in the subjunctive, it's actually really important that you specify the subject. But you won't always see it. But it's important to identify where the subject is. Where the subject is in your sentence so you know how to form your verb. So our first 5 are super easy peasy lemon squeezy because they're just following the normal subject-verb pattern. Okay? But we get down to number 6, and we notice we have an ah here. This personal ah means that, like, for Antonia, we're going to have a backwards verb here. I think it's gustar. It is gustar, which is a backwards verb. So la película is going to be our subject. We'll get more to that later, though. for a sentence. And we have tú, and then la película. So just like in commands, we are expressing a desire for someone to do something. With the subjunctive, we can express a desire for anybody to do something using your phrase, hopefully, ojala, or God willing, or whatever. So number 1, for example, we have the verb tomar. Tomar means to take. In this case, tomar muchas fotos, taking a lot of photos. So we have ojala, hopefully, my friends take a bunch of photos. Since we're expressing an emotion, we want this thing to happen, we're going to put this in the subjunctive. So we look at this AR ending. That AR needs to go to an E. So I'm going to go ahead and just replace that right now with an E. And then mis amigos, that's like ellos. So we need to put an N at the end. Tomen. Ojala que mis amigos tomen muchas fotos. Isn't that great? That's great. All right, next one. Our verb for number 2 is recibir. So recibir, that is an IR verb. We're going to drop that IR, replace it with an A. And then our subject here is Julián. So we don't need any more endings. So we just have, ojalá que Julián reciba su invitación por correo electrónico. Hopefully, or God willing, Julian receives his invitation by email. In número 3, our verb is pensar. Now, so far this activity, I've been saying, okay, just take the AR and then drop it. But remember, we need to start with the yo form. And pensar is a stem changer. It's an I to IE. So it's an E to IE stem changer. So to put it in the yo form, it would typically be pienso, right? But this AR ending gets changed into an E. And our subject is mis padres. That's like ellos, needs an N. So, ojalá que mis padres piensen que el estreno es divertido. Hopefully they think the premiere is fun. In número 4, we have to be very careful finding our subject. It's not algunas, that's an adjective, that's some. De cine is a prepositional phrase. So, estrellas, the stars, are our subject. So, hopefully the stars, are movie. So number 4, we're looking at mirar as an AR verb. This is going to move into an E, and because it's ellos, we're going to need to put an N at the end of it. Hopefully they see it. Ojalá algunas estrellas de cine miren nuestra película. I got something in my throat. Hold on. Alrighty. Número 5 es ver. Oh boy. Ta-da. Now this is actually kind of fun because we can drop. Well, I guess, would this be considered irregular? Oh, well, okay. It's not going to be regular because watch. We're going to put it through the yo form, veo, but then we're going to drop this or replace it with A because it was the, oh, that's the wrong A, this A, because it was in this irregular yo. So that's cool. Anyway. So, hola, que yo... Ojalá que yo vea a mucha gente famosa esa noche. Hopefully I see a lot of famous people rather, tonight. So look out for this personal ah again. This personal ah right here. I see these people. Okay, sweet. We got 3 more to do, and then honestly... I'll just post the answer key for you guys to go through because, hey, look, you got a freebie. You're welcome. Because there's not much more explanation. It's just kind of the same answers over and over again. Okay, so we got a personal over here because número 6, is that what we're on? Yeah, this was gustar. Gustar, we're going to take that AR verb. We're going to change that AR to an E, but because we are talking about just one movie, we leave it alone. Ojalá que a Antonia le guste la película. 2 more are verb in número 7. I lost my book. Here it is, encontrar. Encontrar is fun because not only is it an AR verb going to an E, it is also a stem changer, that O to UE stem changer. So let's get rid of that AR, replace it with an E. Let's get rid of this O, replace it with a UE. Encuentre, but it's tú, so we gotta add a S on the end. Ojalá que tú encuentres fácilmente el lugar del extraño. And finally, hopefully our movie does not fail. That would be a bummer. We have fracasar. Awesome. Drop this AR, replace it with its opposite, and then we're done. Oh, shooties and goodies. And then we're done. Ojalá que la película no fracase, like my pronunciation just did. Okay, again, your key idea. We start with the phrase ojalá que, followed by the subjunctive tense, and we form the subjunctive with these guys right here. So if you want to put them all in one kind of like screenshotable shortcut place, there it is, and have a wonderful time on your homework.